Hello! I am going to be attempting to fight the hardest boss in Elden Ring while reading my, this I believe essay about why Elden Ring is such a good game. Alright, let's go ahead and get to the door. I'm going to try my best to read the whole thing without dying and hopefully win the boss fight as well. It'll work great, I promise. Alright, let's get it. Elden Ring. Turning challenge into hold up. Skip this thing. Alright. Oh boy! Okay, Elden Ring. Turning challenge into grace. Growing up, I had always liked video games. In fact, one of my earliest memories is playing Sly Cooper, an old platformer on the PS2. I'm panicking, sorry. With my dad when I was 4. Specifically, I remember getting stuck on a part of the game where you have to swing from hook to hook in order to... Oh, God. Mercy! In order to avoid falling into a poison swamp. I was getting really upset and my dad had to take over in order to progress through the level. The earliest memory I have of me getting mad over a game is its difficulty. Segue into Elden Ring. Oh God. You thought? A game which is notorious for its hard difficulty. Oh no. That's so mean. Well, that didn't work. So, I'm just going to be reading my This I Believe essay in front of my gameplay instead of just, trying to read it while doing the boss fight. As entertaining as that was, and as fun as it was for the bit that I did do it, that was just never going to work. So, we're going to read it here. And disclosure, all backgrounds that are going to be in here are all my own. This is my gameplay. I own the game, so you can't copyright strike me, YouTube. Alright, anyways, let's begin. Elden Ring. Turning challenge into grace. Growing up, I always liked video games. In fact, one of my earliest memories is playing Sly Cooper, an old platformer on the PS2 with my dad when I was 4. Specifically, I remember getting stuck on a part of the game where you have to swing from hook to hook in order to avoid falling into a poison swamp. I was getting really upset, and my dad had to take over in order to progress through the level. This is the earliest memory I have of me getting mad at a game over its difficulty. Segue into Elden Ring! A game of which... Don't ask. A game of which became notorious for its insane difficulty, and how I grew to love it for said difficulty. Elden Ring is a game that was released in early 2022, and it became a cultural phenomenon in the gaming industry for its expansive open world, exciting gameplay options, and of course, its unforgiving combat. I remember I originally wasn't going to buy this game due to how difficult it seemed. I saw gameplay of one of the bosses ripping off a dragon's head, then using it as a flamethrower to burn the battlefield and damage you, and I said, okay, that's sick as hell, but there's absolutely no way I'm doing that. I'll just get really angry and quit. So I stayed clear for a few months, but then all my friends recommended the game and told me how fun the boss fights were, despite the difficulty. And then I eventually caved in and said fine. Most open world games I've played typically do a lot of hand-holding, giving you exact instructions on how the controls work, what gear does, what settings you have, etc. Elden Ring does not do that whatsoever. It just threw me in a tomb, told me how to attack and dodge, called me maidenless, and said go. First few hours I played this game, it consisted of just wandering around, wondering what I was supposed to do, and fighting what seemed to be easy enemies, only to get humbled after 2 seconds. As I died over and over again, I got frustrated over and over again, but I began to learn how the game operates. I was learning enemies' movesets and how to optimize my build to my preferred playstyle in order to overcome the difficulty. Contrary to what I thought was going to happen, the difficulty enhanced my experience and it forced me to adapt and get better. It created a new kind of fun where I had to figure out how to get stronger and win. Let me tell you, the immense satisfaction I felt after beating the first main boss of the game was worth all that suffering. Looking back on it now, it's wild I didn't want to try a silly fantasy game because it's hard. From that difficulty, I had one of the most fun gaming experiences in my life. It gave me the opportunity to think outside the box, adapt to different challenges, and give me angry but fond memories. Due to that, I can say I believe that Elden Ring's difficulty is what makes it fun.
Alright.